art underfoot is made possible by a grant from Hercules Incorporated. Hercules, the right chemistry for a world of products. With additional support from Ampex Corporation, world producers of professional television equipment and videotape. Ampex, the American company that invented video recording.
I'm John Kurtz. You know, in the East, they're civilized enough to take their shoes off when they come into the house. But here in America, until we get that far advanced, we're condemned to dragging all kinds of stuff in on our feet. And imagine, too, what it would feel like to have somebody grinding their rubber-soled shoe into your face all day long. Yeah! Anyway, that's the kind of punishment our Oriental rugs take day after day. The wonder is that they hold up at all. Most of these rugs aren't fragile at all. And with a little maintenance once in a while, they'll stay in good shape for years and years to come. So today, we'll look into a little care and feeding. To begin with, you should know that different breeds of sheep yield different grades of wool. And generally, the shoulder wool will yield the highest quality and longest fiber. To a great extent, the quality of wool will also determine the way in which a rug will wear, given normal use. So let's assume that the art underfoot which you own has been woven from good quality materials. What's the fundamental maintenance technique? Now we're going to talk about something fairly simple, but the first line of defense against the deterioration of your rug, and that's vacuuming. Now, there are two different kinds of vacuums that most of us have at home. One is the upright, the big heavy one with a beater bar in the front, and the other is a simple old canister. Now, oddly enough, vacuuming the back of your rug is going to do a lot more for it than the front, and I'll explain why. The dirt that works its way down into the foundations, the grit that we carry in from outside in the street, acts like little knives deep down inside the pile, and the pressure of your foot on these little cutting edges deep inside the fabric of the rug acts like little knives, and year after year of that can cut actually away at the base of the knot. So it's important to try to get as much of that stuff out of the rug as we can. And you'd be amazed at how much of it works its way down in. Now, the trick to that is to beat it from the backside. Now, this is something they used to do with a carpet beater. They'd string the rug up over a fence or a clothesline and whack at it from the back, which is not as good as having a firm surface underneath. So what we're going to do is flip this rug over, belly down, and hit it from the back with this big, heavy, powerful vacuum. And that's going to knock as much of the dirt out as we can. So let's get started. Whoops, forgot to turn it over. A footnote about moths. They lay their eggs in dark, undisturbed spots. So turn back your rug and vacuum the underside of the edges and ends. Now, this rug should be plenty dirty. It's been on the floor for quite a while. Let's see what comes out of it. Now, you can hold it steady in one position as best you can and work one area at a time. If needs be, put your foot on it and slowly let that beater bar do its work. If you're storing a rug for any length of time, make sure it's clean and sprinkle moth flakes in it before you roll it up, and put it in a cool, dry place. Let's look and see what we're getting out of it. See that? That's just from one little pass in one corner of the rug. I told you these things hold a lot of dirt. They really do. I mean, a generation or two can put an awful lot of junk in the foundations of these rugs. Now, one thing you've got to be careful about is this beater bar. You don't want to get that caught up in the fringes. Now, this rug doesn't have much fringe left, but some of them have long and elaborate fringes, so keep it away. What happens, a lot of people use these beater bar uprights and they run across the fringe, and the fringe gets wrapped up inside the beater bar and gets torn. as well as jamming the vacuum up. So keep it away from the fringes. So we slowly pass this thing back and forth. If you've got a friend who'll stand on the rug, so much the better. You can keep it taut. So slowly back and forth we pass this. Okay, now once you've got the whole thing done with the heavy upright, we want to turn it over. Look at that dirt. Ugh. And then you can use the canister vacuum. Now this has a gentler suction. We use the metal head on this. And if you can, I mean, if it's a delicate old rug, don't scrub it. You know, don't go like this with it because you're going to wear it down. I mean, theoretically, the best thing to do is to move with the pile. You can tell which way the pile's going by rubbing your hand on it. And if you stroke it with the pile, you'll pull up a lot of the stuff that you loosened up with a heavy beater bar. Now this gentle suction will pull up the loose stuff. It's not going to get what's worked way deep down into the foundation, but it will get the average amount of dust and dirt. Now dirt per se doesn't hurt a rug. It's that grit that I was talking about that gets down in the foundation, that cuts away at it. Now I know it's tough to, resist doing this, and maybe you can't. Just go gently with it. And there's probably no need to use the brush head on it, but you may find that that picks up stuff that the plain metal doesn't. It's a pretty simple process, but it'll go a long way towards keeping your rugs clean. As I say, it's not dirt that hurts it, it's the grit that's damaging year after year, getting ground into the foundation. So just watch out for the fringes. So there you have it. Pretty simple. Now, if it's the middle of winter, you can give it a wipe down with a damp cloth, and that'll freshen up the colors. But if it's a nice, warm, sunny day, you might want to know how to take your rug outside and give it a bath. You got to remember that nomadic people didn't dry clean their sheep, so there's no real reason to dry clean a good rug. In fact, almost any good rug is best off being hand washed. Cold water, soap, down on your hands and knees with your fingertips or maybe a soft brush. So we're going to go through this step by step, and you'll see what a simple but time-consuming effort it is. There are a few things to remember. One is, not all rugs are made with good dyes, so you may run into the situation where you've got a bleeding color. Some of these are easy to identify. Hot pinks, some hot reds, hot oranges are often suspect. What you do, it's pretty simple. Take 2 white cloths, get them wet, wring them out, dampen your rug in a given area, especially where you think it's might be a bleeder. Sandwich the rug between the 2 wet cloths, put a weight on it, like a brick, and let it sit for 15 or 20 minutes. Take it off, and look at what you get. If it's just dirt, you're fine. But if you see the outlines of any of the colors, you've got a suspicious case. Then you've got to make a judgment call whether to go ahead and wash it and accept the bleeding, or maybe just surface wash it with a damp cloth, rubbing it up, which will do a lot to get it clean. But essentially, you got to wash this thing the way you wash your hair, or the way you wash a dog. You got to get it soaking wet. Now we're going to use a power pump a little later on. You can use a garden hose. Pick a summer day, a good rug. Almost any rug will dry on one hot summer day if you keep flipping it over and over. And there are a few tricks that I can show you that'll facilitate getting some of the water out. The tools are fairly simple. A soft, natural bristle brush for a delicate rug, maybe a stronger nylon brush for one that can take more scrubbing. We use a lot of ivory soap, bar after bar. The soap seems better than most detergents. Now, if you're going to use Woolite or something very mild that's made for wool, that's fine. But heavy-duty detergents, I think, have a stripping action that can pull some of the lanolin, the natural oil, out of the wool. So you do this over and over again, and you're going to end up with a rug maybe that's lost some of its resiliency. Another thing about detergent is it's very, very pervasive. It gets down in the fabric of a rug, and it's very difficult to flush it out. Rugs that have come from commercial cleaners are usually just loaded with detergent. You get them wet, and you'll see what I mean. You can flush out enough suds to do the laundry of the Turkish Army battalion. Anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to get this thing wet, top and bottom. If the thing is really filthy, you might want to scrub up the back too. And then essentially, we're going to rub it up with soap in a given spot. We're going to use our brush on it or our fingertips so we think that area is clean. Then we're going to move on and do another one. And we'll walk it through step by step, find that it's simple. I'm going to turn on the pump, the water, and let's get rolling. You can do this with an ordinary garden hose, but you might be able to rent a pump, and this will help. Remember, you'll need to soak the rug thoroughly, front and back. Work up a really good lather and use a circular motion with the brush. And make sure you get the fringes and side cords. Rinse your rug thoroughly, and then rinse it again. You'll need to get a squeegee and push it gently in the direction of the pile until most of the water is squeezed out. In Iran, they wash rugs in the rivers and then dry them on the rocks. Here, the backyard will do. So, there you have it. Kind of a messy job, but well worth it. Also, your hands stay marvelously clean. Now, some rugs need something more than a simple wash to be brought up to snuff. Let's go look and see what some of the best experts in the field have to say about repair and restoration. They call him the Stain Man. Essie and his small group of expert rug repairers are Iranian. They work here in the rug district in Midtown Manhattan. And though Essie won't reveal his secret formulas, he is willing to share some of his expertise. Essie, tell us, what's wrong with this rug that we're standing on?
This rug has a dog stain.
Dog?
Dog stain, yeah.
They're the worst, aren't they?
Yeah, that's the worst one.
What do you do to get this out? Here, look, it's all yellow here.
Whole this area had a stain, dark stain on it. And first of all, send the rug to wash. And they soak the rug for on one night.
A soap wash. Soak it.
Yeah. And they take the dark stains out. The color not going to change. And after that, we have some chemical to put the yellow things up to make it more wider.
So you get the urine out, but you don't get the color, the stain of the.
Just I'm taking the stains out.
Okay.
See,
so
you can see the difference between here and here. See this area.
this is all yellow here.
Yeah. See
And this is
area
whiter now here.
After that, I have to redye the color. It makes this part the same as that part.
So the dog
See,
stain.
this is the original one, yeah.
It all has
That's the
color
original.
in it, yeah. So after it's been bleached, you lose all the dark colors,
Yeah.
and you have to go back and recolor. What's the matter with this rug?
This one had the rust stains.
Rust?
Yeah. As
Like here?
Yeah, as you see here is the black rust stains.
Now what happens? Like typically a chair leg
Yes.
with a caster
Yes,
on
it's a
the
caster,
bottom
yeah.
gets wet?
Wet and
Leaves
it
a
comes
rust?
from the metal in Turkey. And this gentleman that right now he just finished it.
So he'll carefully touch this up with
Yeah, just only the black things, no things.
and you let that sit a while.
Yeah, so the white, and the color is going to come a little bit lighter, and then we redye the color.
So first you have to take out the stain, and then you have to put
it
back the
yeah.
color.
The color, yeah.
That's usually the case.
Yes, all the chemicals they works on the color too.
Well, some people think if something happens to their rug, you know, if their dog goes on the rug, that they should immediately throw everything they've got on it, Clorox, anything they've got in the house, and that's wrong,
The
right?
Clorox is very dangerous for the rug.
So you
It's very
should
dangerous.
you should try to soak the rug in,
Soak the rug,
plain
yeah.
water
Yeah, and plain the water.
so that the stain doesn't set up.
No.
What about this one? What happened
This
to
one,
this?
that rug had a greasy stain on it.
This dark area right
The
here.
dark area has greasy stain.
Now you can
And-
feel it. It's
yeah,
all
you can-
sticky,
It's
gummy.
sticky, yeah. And this one has a different chemical to take it out.
Yet
Yeah.
another chemical.
Yeah, another chemical.
So you've got to know what to use on what.
To do, yeah.
So this
First you have to study on the stains before you do something on it. You have to
Study and experiment.
so what is the stain on it? And then you use the chemical.
Now would this have gone all the way through to the back of the rug?
Yeah. You
did.
need to see
So it
it's
makes
so hard.
it stiff and
It's hard, yeah.
stiff and sticky. So if that hasn't gotten out, that could eventually lead to the rug
Yeah,
cracking and
yeah,
breaking.
cracking, yeah.
And you'll end up not just with a stain, but with a big broken hole
Right.
in the rug.
Right.
In his shop in Philadelphia, Hagop Barin, a Turk, deals in old rugs and does magnificent expert repair. Hagop says in every carpet there's a person's heart, thoughts, and feelings. And the beauty of a rug lies in its art.
Describe for us what you're doing.
Yeah, you see the holes here. I don't know why this happened, but it's something happened there, and I try to fix this hole.
What do you do first?
First, I have to put on the warp.
To create the new foundation?
Yeah. So I am saving this one. The old one is strong. And right here. Yeah, every little things makes sense. Become good restoration.
Now, what are you doing now?
Yes, I don't need to cut this, but I have to cut. That's kind of, you are building house. That's so important. To clean up, see? Make a little bit finer.
So that it's the same size as the original one?
Yeah.
There was an old patch in it, which
Yeah,
you
that-
cut out.
Yeah.
So you're going to reweave it as close to perfectly as possible.
Yes.
A patch serves sometimes, but not if you want the rug to be really well restored.
Mm-hmm.
You'll want to cut out any old patches and reweave them.
Yeah. match the patch wasn't right, not right color, not right design.
And why do you use these pliers?
This one?
Mm-hmm.
Because, see, I have no place here, my finger or my hand. I have to use to hold, you know.
To be strong enough
Yeah.
to pull it through. It's very tight, this foundation.
Mm-hmm.
How does a person know when it's worth fixing a rug and when it isn't?
That's a good question. Depends the rock. To fixing rocks takes time. You can see no machine, everything is by hand. And some rock not worth it to fix. And some rock is not right things to fix, like 17th century, 16th century rock.
A museum piece, you leave it alone.
Sure. And then other thing, sometime rock worth it $200 is not worth it to put on $300 restoration.
So people have to understand that the rug has to be increased in value,
Yeah,
commensurate with the amount of money it's going to cost to fix it.
yeah,
In other words, it takes the same amount of time to fix a rug with the same problem if the rug's worth $200 or $2,000.
exactly. That's the look. Front.
And now you're going to attach the rug to the frame.
I am trying, you make new rock, you know what you are doing. Like, you can control the rock. But here, 80-year-old rock, I have to go back to 80 years ago. And today everything is new.
So when you're weaving a new rug, you control the rug,
Yeah.
and when you're repairing an old rug, the rug controls what you do.
Exactly.
Well, that's another thing that's hard to understand, that a new rug, to weave an area like this on a new rug, goes much, much faster.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Now, you use a long hook, looks almost like a crochet hook.
Yeah. See this here?
It has a little
Hold, yeah.
hook on the end,
Mm-hmm.
so you can pass your weft all the way across in one movement. Over one,
I missed that one, but okay.
under the next.
Yeah.
Well, that's something that happens when the rug's being woven anyway.
Yeah, sure.
Some little hitches and glitches.
Yeah, same thing I have to do for the web. See this kind of thing?
So you're trimming it down to get
Yeah.
all the fuzz off.
Mm-hmm.
Now, some rugs have only one pass of weft in between the knots. Some have 2 or 3.
That's what, exactly, yeah.
So now you're passing back the opposite direction.
Mm-hmm. This is 2. That's my second one.
So this will be just the way the original rug
Yeah.
was put together.
Yeah.
Now you're pushing those down tight.
Mm-hmm.
That's what would have been banged down with the weaver's comb.
Yes. Okay.
Now you're ready to begin tying knots.
Mm-hmm. That's one.
So you
Yeah.
take the wool,
Mm-hmm.
pull it through with your knife,
Yeah.
loop it under, pull it through again,
And
pick it
touch.
down, and then cut it.
Yeah.
So each knot gets cut as you go along.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'll give it a final trim after it's all finished.
Yes.
Hago, we'll let you get some work done.
Okay, then. Thank you.
Well, as you can see, some rugs have really big problems. But even if yours doesn't, accidents will happen. So you'll need to know a little rug first aid. Here's remedial action for 2 routine problems. Pet urine. Immerse the spot in a basin of lukewarm water with baking soda in it to neutralize the acid. Then wash it with soap and keep changing the rinse water to flush the spot clean. Keep it elevated until thoroughly dry. Red wine. Sprinkle the spot with salt to absorb the worst. Then soak it and wash it the same as with the urine. Don't let it go, and call an expert for advice if you need help. Remember, too, that ordinary wear and tear will take its toll on your rug, so keep an eye on the sides and ends. They're the first line of defense against everything unraveling. Here Tina is whipping the side cord to protect the body of the rug. Another important function is securing the ends. In this case, she uses a buttonhole or blanket stitch to provide a barrier to prevent the ends from fraying. These are important techniques that will help to maintain the value of your rug. Don't put them off, and make sure you have them done by an expert Oriental rug repairer.
Top interior designers are out in front in their use of Oriental rugs as the primary design element. Next time on Art Underfoot, we'll take you along as we visit the Mecca of design, New York, New York. Would you believe fashion mogul Bill Blass is designing handmade rugs? We'll talk to him and other top designers about decorating with rugs. Next time on Art Underfoot. I'm John Kurtz. Thanks for joining me. Okay, Tina, I'll race you.
If you've got a question about a rug, send us a self-addressed stamped envelope.
Art Underfoot is made possible by a grant from Hercules Incorporated. Hercules, the right chemistry for a world of products. With additional support from Ampex Corporation, world producers of professional television equipment and videotape. Ampex, the American company that invented video recording.
This is PBS.
You may call the toll-free number on your screen to order the VHS video cassette Art Underfoot, Living with Oriental Rugs.